So we're about to see academics confront Zay about the rumor, and he basically calls out Wack. I'm not condoning these activities because, you know what I'm saying, Wack's my guy, right? I'm part of the Wack pack, okay? I got to be part of the Wack pack, okay? I got jumped into the Wack pack, unfortunately, right? So I'm not condoning this, but Zay says Wack's a bitch, all right, for saying that he told. Zay says there's no paperwork, and he even says if he was a snitch in the feds, he would have been killed. He would have died.
What's Shorty's name again? The female lawyer. I follow.
And then y'all gonna let Wack go up there talking about he got paperwork on me, all this crazy shit, folks. That was some bitch ass hoe ass shit he did. You hear me?
Wait, why Wack is trying to say that? Yeah, you told.
If I told, that shit'd be in black and white. I'm Lil Zay Osama, gang. When you go to jail, you're not gonna even be able to in the feds. You ain't gonna even be able to live in the feds. Telling you hear me? Nigga gon' motherfucking cut your ass from head to toe. You hear me?
He's saying, bro, if they find out that you're a snitch in the feds, they're going to slice you up. You are not going to live. You are not going to survive. And he says later on in this interview, he done seen it happen. He's seen people get sliced up for being exposed as a snitch in the feds.
You cannot even
as we heard from his song, Fresh Out the Feds, he was living like a king in there. He was living like the Fresh Prince of the feds.
go to the feds and snitch and live, gang. Before you get to any yard, before you get to any deck, nigga, every paperwork follow you. That shit follow you. That shit follow you.
So how come Wack got some extra work? He said he got to work.
I was in New York with real members, gang.
Yeah.
If I would have told, the COs would have known. The inmates would have known. That shit would have been in black and white over the internet. I'm Zay Osama. You think somebody gonna hold that shit in for me? Hell no, folks. Yeah.
So look, he made it very clear, okay? He made it very clear if he was really in the feds getting that paperwork, getting that work put out on him, he probably wouldn't even be here to tell the tale. Now, he would even say, okay, he would say that when he went and did his No Jumper interview, they had to separate him from Wack, and they had to make sure that they weren't there at the same time. And Zay says that if he saw Wack, he would have asked him for a fade for saying that he's a snitch.
That's what I'm saying. That's why y'all got to listen. I was going to No Jumper. You know what they said? Hey, bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. We had to separate you from Wack, bro. You hear me? Wack was coming at 2. That's why we told you come at 3 or some shit like that. You feel me? All my life, if I would have seen Wack, I'd have told his ass, let's shoot the one game. You hear me?
He says, let's shoot the one. Let's shoot the one-on-one fade, man. So look, Zay goes on to basically say that Wack should upload the paperwork, show the paperwork, let everybody know. And once again, I cannot condone these activities as a member of the full-blown Wack pack, all right? But Zay claims that Wack's the police. I don't believe Wack's the police. But Zay's standing on business, man.
Swear to God, upload Zay Osama paperwork, Wack. You gonna get famous. You gonna have more money than you got now. You gonna go real viral, Wack. Upload that. Man, Wack is the police, man. You hear me?
So
look, he says that Wack's the police, all right? And he even says later on in the interview, he reiterates this threat of a fade. He says he will beat Wack up. He says he's down to stand on business and fight Wack.
On the boxing thing, I want to box him one-on-one. I could bet whatever. I'll put my own money up. I'll beat his old ass.
Ooh, Wack? Oh, you must.
Yeah, I would beat Wack ass, gang.
You ain't see Wack knock out 2 white dudes?
Listen, gang, Wack moves so motherfucking slow and goofy, man. I will. Bing, 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 bing. Yeah.
He's saying he's gonna put that 4 extra, bam on Wack, man. That's crazy. Now look, I would pay big money to see that fight. I'm not gonna lie. I would pay big dollars, big Rex to see that fight. But unfortunately, man, unfortunately for Zay, or fortunately for us as fans following this, pundits, all right, we eventually got, shout out to Remo because I think he lined up the play, but we ended up seeing Wack and Zay on the same call, and they absolutely went to war. They went to war, people. It was brazy. Okay, it was wild.
Wack.
Yo.
What up, man?
Yo, so what a little dude at?
I think he got off here.
Yet, right? So here go my thing with him.
Yeah. He basically said you lied on him, that basically he was ratting, and he said he's never cooperated, and he wants an apology from you for.
First of all, he ain't gonna get no apology. I don't apologize to bitch ass nigga. Second of all, it's motherfucking simple. When I see you keep getting arrested for guns and sticks, right? And you know this shit. And then I see you catch a switch case, which on the federal level, my nigga, carries a substantial amount of time, but you get caught in New York. See, now it get ugly because New York don't play that gun shit. Now, we know it's the feds. We know all that, right? But nigga, you have priors. You have priors that you have been on probation on. You know, when you go to running that history, your background, all that works against you. I believe they gave this nigga like 12 months or something, right? That's what they gave him? Some bullshit, right? They gave a nigga 12 months for a switch. Now, he's saying he never was convicted of the California and Illinois case. You see, I knew his record. I said, nigga, you got caught with assault rifle or pistol in Illinois, and then you had a police evade in California prior to like 2022, 2023, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Then you got caught with this switch. He left the shit like a dummy. For one, he was a dummy, dope fiend. And any nigga leave his gun in the back of Uber, he was a dope fiend dummy.
So look, Wack's calling him out. He's saying you got prior cases, okay, you got serious cases. How the hell are you getting 12 months? And eventually, all right, Ack gets Wack and Zay on the phone together, and they just they just go to war, man. It's actually wild.
That's him right there, Wack.
So you telling me now?
Tell me.
Bet the 50K. Hey, bro, look, bro. All the loud, fast talking, Paru, that don't work.
Can we bet the 50K?
Listen.
All right, listen, Wack. Hold on, wait. Before you talk, Wack. Before you talk. Before you talk.
So you telling me you wasn't convicted in California, Illinois? I got your whole rap sheet.
He got to work.
So you telling me you wasn't convicted in California or Illinois? That's what you saying?
Matter of fact, hold on. I'm gonna do something better for you.
So you just said
I'm gonna do something better for you.
You wasn't convicted yet.
I'm gonna do something better for you.
How was you getting 1 day in jail for pistols, my nigga?
In Chicago, this any gangster, bro. Listen.
No. 1 day in jail?
Listen. They didn't charge me with a gun. They charged me with a gun as a misdemeanor. You know what a misdemeanor is?
1 day in jail?
So Zay is saying he only got charged with a gun as a misdemeanor, and he's going to break up the details of this case later on. And look, I believe Zay. I actually understand the way that he's describing this, because the thing is, right, it's a different story getting caught where somebody who knows who left a gun in the car and there's a switch on it, and they can prove you was in the car. They ain't prove you ain't get you with the gun. All right, they damn near should have charged the cab driver with the switch, man. That cab driver could have been getting busy. Okay. Zay basically explains, bro, based on the evidence, based on the case, okay, and this is the same case. He had another case where a gun was left in the car, all right? He basically got lucky. He managed to strike a deal, not that kind of deal, but get out of there, get back on these streets, and keep it pushing. And he said that he basically got his original gun charge downgraded to a misdemeanor, and it wasn't that serious, okay? Zay is basically saying, look, my priors are just misdemeanors. This is how I got so lucky on this switch case in New York, because my priors were misdemeanors because they weren't that serious, and the evidence wasn't too strong, and they was be made into smaller charges.
Getting that.
What's your name, gang? Okay, what I'm asking, do you have black and white?
I won't answer the question.
Do you have black and white?
I think you've been a rat. I'm going to be real.
Oh, shit. Oh, man.
Hey, listen. Hey, Wack.
With 1 day in jail for a right.
When you see me, you gotta have that energy, though, folks.
Hey, bro, you ain't nobody, bro. You knockout bait. You ain't nobody. On Paru, I'll beat your ass with one hand, tie behind my back for 50
Oh, my God.
Oh, shit. That's the
nigga, you better watch who you talking to. You a little boy, nigga. I'm for 50 racks on my dead homies. I tie my head behind my back, and I beat your little ass.
Wack said on the dead homies, man, he will beat him up easy with one hand tied behind his back. Now, Zay basically goes on to make actually arguably like a pretty good point, to be honest with you, right? He basically asked Wack, why do none of his ops in Chicago say that he's a snitch? And basically just making it very clear he only got a misdemeanor for that case. And I think that's a very good point, bro. He got all these people in Chicago. He's saying 5 people died about his watches. So why aren't any of his ops exposing him as a snitch? It's only Wack.
Hey, why you think nobody else from the rack don't say what you say?
Did you not?
Why you think nobody else from the rack don't say what you say? On Baby Zay, I got caught with a fucking 32 revolver that got found in the car that I went in, and they charged me with trespassing and a misdemeanor. Yes, I got out the next day. Yes.
So he did one day. He's saying, look, they found a revolver in the car. It wasn't no stick, all right? He wasn't in the car. Once again, bro, Zay Osama, man, you need to get a little clutch bag, because you be leaving stuff in the car all the time, bro. We need to get you a little Louis clutch, a little Nike Tech pouch. You know what I mean? Just keep that with you, bro. You wouldn't have no problem. Just keep it in the pouch. Don't be having your switch just chilling on the center console, man. What are you doing?
You had a possession of a firearm.
Okay, was it a misdemeanor? That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, how you get a misdemeanor for possession of a firearm?
On Baby Zay, if you go look up a lot of niggas...
How you get 12 months for a switch, nigga? You know what that carry.
You can't... Hey, listen.
You know what that carry.
Wack. You can't be no snitch in private, Wack. You
bullshit. You a motherfucking liar.
So Zay's basically explaining it once again. Look, you can't be a snitch in private. If I was in the feds as a snitch, bro, I would have been exposed. And I feel like it's facts, bro. If there was evidence that he was a snitch, his ops would have been all over it.
Hey, you a motherfucking liar. Everywhere you go in that fed, that shit follow you, shorty.
You wasn't on no USP. You wasn't on no USP. You was in Camp Snoopy, little nigga.
I never went to a camp. I never touched no camp.
You wasn't on no USP, nigga.
I never went to no yard.
You went on no USP, I know.
Hey, is you still screaming?
I'm still
screaming. You wasn't on no USP, nigga.
Bro, I will put real gangsters on the phone that's in the feds right now, gang.
He said he'll put real gangsters on the phone that are in the feds right now to prove it. Now, this doesn't end up happening, but what does happen that is really interesting, and Wack ends up making a pretty good point here, okay? If this is a little point for Wack. He basically says, yo, how are you on federal parole and threatening people right now on the phone?
Gang on my baby. When I see you, it's gonna be different, gang.
You ain't gonna be different.
That's what you think, though. You better ask niggas, folks. You better ask niggas.
You ain't gonna do shit. I think you working with the police now out on federal parole issuing threats on live. You the police ass.
Now, that is a good point, bro. That is actually a good point. I'm not saying he's a snitch, but Wack saying, I think you working with the police. How are you on federal parole issuing threats to people on live? And it's a good point. Zay should be careful. Now, this could be some WWE wrestling type argument, okay, for entertainment. There's all entertainment purposes only. But that is kind of crazy, bro. Like, if I was Zay's parole officer, I'd be hearing this, rubbing my hands together like Birdman.
What you issuing threats for?
All right, can you go get the paperwork? Why you go get the paperwork for act?
Why are you so comfortable?
Can you go get the paperwork from act, please?
I got it.
Okay, please show that I'm a snitch. Show that I took a proper hearing. Show something.
No, we ain't got it. Listen.
So look, Wack doesn't have that kind of work, right? He doesn't have that specific work. Now, Remo from No Jumper joined. Shout out to my guy Remo, okay? Even though he is clearly also a member of the Wack Pack, okay, he presses Wack for more details, asking if there are actually paperwork, and Wack once again does change the subject and just keeps on going after the numbers.
Paperwork what? Yeah, I got his work.
I think Remo was asking if there's paperwork.
Is there paperwork what? Yeah, I got his work. How you get 12 months for a swing when you answer that question?
Can you please have him show the paperwork?
How you get 12 months for a
So look, Wack's basically reiterating, look, the only paperwork that he's got is the original case, and then he's just saying the numbers don't add up. He hasn't got snitch paperwork. He's just saying, yo, this does not add up. Now, Zay actually does begin to clap back with some pretty good answers, okay? Zay basically claps back and says, look, the sentencing guidelines for my case were 24 months, and he actually at one point thought that he was getting 30 years, and really, he just got lucky.
My guidelines, listen, my guidelines in the feds was 24 months, brother.
How you get
I swear to God, the whole time I'm in the feds, I'm thinking I'm going to get 30 years, gang. My God, everybody that's in there telling me this. Everybody that's in there telling me this. Yo, Zay, you tweaking. This is a switch case. You're not going to get no 10, 30 years, none of that. They don't got guidelines in here, shorty. Stop listening to people on the internet.
So Zay's saying people in there are telling him, yo, you're not going to get 30 years. Zay's in the feds stressing out, saying, bruh, I might be facing a 30-pack. They're saying, bruh, it ain't that serious. 24 months maximum, potentially. Like, it ain't that serious, okay? Now, look. Zay talking hot on this, man. If I was Zay's parole officer, I would be tweaking right now, because he basically says later on, yo, if I'd have seen you at No Jumper, I would have popped you.
Say nothing. What nigga? What are you
gang, on my mama, if I would have seen you, I would have blew your ass down. On my
He says on his kids, he would have blew Wack down. Pause. If he's seen him at No Jumper.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? This nigga talking about like you've changed my time or something.
Bruh. So Wack basically goes on to say that Zay is scared to fight him. And basically Zay says, look, if you call me a snitch, ain't no fighting time. It's time to shoot.
Oh, so you don't want to squabble. You scared to squabble.
I'm going to show you for playing with my name. How can you say a nigga a snitch, gang? That's disrespectful, gang.
So you scared to squabble. I want to make sure we got this right. You don't want to squabble with gunplay. That's what you said, right?
All my life, you play on my name like
that. No, that's what you said. You say you scared, little boy.
Hell yeah, it's gunplay. Nigga,
okay,
talking about a snitch.
I'm glad you said
Talking about a snitch.
I'm glad
you know you. I swear to God, you can call anybody in LA right now. Even probably some people you know, I done probably robbed their ass or blew their ass down.
So you said you
talking about?
So look, they go back and forth for a whole bunch of time. I'm not going to bore you to death with all of the argument because they kind of be making the same points over and over and over and over and over again. Okay, but we do eventually get this paperwork, man. We get that work. Okay, we end up getting that work. That work ends up being put on screen at least briefly. Okay, we end up seeing this paperwork, but again, it's just that same. That's just his case. It's just his numbers. It's just his guidelines, his sentencing, what he went through. And then Zay ends up dropping a bombshell. He says, yo, Wack, at one point, you was trying to sign me.
You was trying to sign me. How you don't know me?
I don't know you, my nigga.
Let me see where you at. You was trying to sign me. How you don't know me? Let me see
you lying like I'm now. You lying.
What's your name on Instagram?
The Honey Show. _ The Honey Show. You're lying.
The Honey Show?
I only tried to sign one nigga out of Chicago.
Who?
Hold on.
Kiddo Curry. Only nigga. You can't.
Kiddo Curry don't even matter.
So look, Zay basically saying, yo, you was trying to sign me. You found out, basically. That's what he's saying. And then things just continue to devolve from there, okay? Zay later says that Wack is now banned from Chicago. He says that he cannot go to Chicago because he's playing with him like this, and his guys in Chicago are ready to stand on business, man.
Hey, tell him go to Chicago and play with me.
What? I'm a nigga go wherever I want to go.
You can be with any nigga in Chicago. You hear me?
So you run Chicago now?
No, I don't. But hey, look, my voice go a long way, so you hear me? Fact.
So let me ask you a question.
So look, it just keeps on going from here, man. So I'm just going to show you the most interesting parts where we actually got new info, because these same points do get made over and over again. It does get a little bit repetitive, and it just becomes this huge shouting match, man. But Academics eventually asks Zay, all right, if he fades. Is he going to get a fade? All right, is he going to take the fade? Or does he just shoot people? All right. And at this point, it seems like Wack actually gets mad that Zay is inferring that California is soft and that they take fades rather than shooting it out like in Chicago, and Wack ends up getting off the call.
do you like meet up with people and catch fades or whatever? Because I think that's like a Cali type of thing, you know?
Yeah, that's a Cali type thing. See, me, I'm the type of nigga tell you to pull up, catch a fade, and, you know, I really give you a
He's
fade.
saying he'd tell you to pull up for a fight and he's going to pop you. So, Wack, I wouldn't pull up for no fade. I wouldn't pull up for no boxing max on Zay Osama. You know what I'm saying? He might pull out that switch. Or if he didn't leave it in the car, that is, you know what I'm saying? He might pull out to pop somebody, but then he going, hang on a minute, where's my switch? Where's, oh, it's in the Uber. God, it's in the Uber.
That's
nigga talking like Cali is soft or something, bro.
I ain't talking like Cali soft, but you, listen, I'm with 4 5. I'm with 2 cars full of Cali niggas right now. I never said Cali soft. I never said that, but I do be outside. You hear me?
Now this is a disturbing note to leave it on, man, because like Wack trying to make it sound like Zay's saying California's soft, and then he disappears from the call, man. He disappears from the call. He's sending a message saying, "Okay, bet you say Cali soft, you gonna see." We gonna see now. In about a minute's time, okay. Academics makes probably the best point that I heard on the live stream, and this to me is possibly the most helpful piece of evidence or analysis that I see in this whole thing that makes me believe that Zay is not a snitch, okay? Because Ak basically makes a very good point. He basically says, look, if somebody snitches in federal court, you remember the 6ix9ine case, they end up getting a recommendation letter which is sent to the judge that asks for reduced sentencing, okay? If Zay got his 12 months off the back of snitching, he would have had to have this recommendation letter and it would have been public, and Zay ain't got it, okay? And this is a really, really good point.
Whatever, but I know how to read paperwork pretty good. The only way in federal court that somebody gets any type of break from sentencing is if they cooperate and they get what's called a 5K1 letter. You don't have that. And also, just based on what I read in your sentencing, they said the guidelines carried up to 21 to 27 months. So, and
you know, hold on, like in any case.
So look, Academics actually has the paperwork on screen when he's saying that. He says, look, I read through the whole paperwork. It said he was looking at 21 to 27 months. And then Zay basically explains something that's very interesting later on. He basically explains, look, the reason the judge was so lenient with him is because of his rap career and because he basically proved the fact that his family had provided a support system, and the judge ultimately decided, look, he deserves a second chance. Ain't no 27 months, ain't no 30 years. We're going to give you a year. We're going to give you a second chance at this so you can get back out on the street and keep collecting these hats, I guess.
I got kids. My daughter came to court, crying in court and shit. My girl had support system at court, you feel me? Plus MDC was so fucked up, bro. That bitch infested, molded, all type of shit, gang. So they was giving niggas double their time just for that, gang. Bro, you know when you go get the documents for court, they say everything the judge said in there, the prosecutor, the lawyers, everything. Just go read that shit, bro. That shit documented. If it ain't, I'll send that shit to you, bro. My lawyer got that shit down.
So he basically explains, look, I had a good support system. I made a really strong case to basically say, look, I'm not dangerous to society. I'm a rapper, all right? I'm a rapper that just so happens to have a large collection of hats and watches, all right? That's all it is, okay? Now, Zay eventually leaves the call, but just like Wack left the call on an ominous note, Zay left the call on a very spooky note indeed. He basically leaves the call and he says, yo, I'm in LA and I'm going to be looking out for Wack's people.
I agree.
You know, I'm on these LA streets, though, I got your number. I'm going to lock you in. I'm going to hit you. You hear me? I got to watch out for Wack people.
All right, man. Be safe, bro.